the war. We cannot be responsible for losing it."
Harrison lifted a brow.
"We?"
Their mother huffed and thumped her cane on the floor. "Harrison, for once in your godforsaken life, pay attention." The barb stung, a reminder of his childhood and the misery of living in this house. "Why can't you be more like your brother? Why can't you sit still? Why can't you ever do as you're told?" As a boy, he'd been energetic and unable to focus his attention for long stretches of time. That seemed to annoy just about anyone he encountered, including his nanny and tutors. His mother dealt with it through ice-cold silence, while his father's approach had been to use a heavy hand, a very heavy hand. As they grew, Thomas took to ridiculing Harrison, riling him up at every turn and causing him to lash out, which made Harrison appear increasingly more ill-mannered, an embarrassment to the family. His father began focusing more and more on Thomas, the perfect brother, until Harrison became an afterthought. Harrison stroked his jaw.
"Oh, I have been paying attention. You think I care about saving a family who disinherited me?" "Disinherited or not, you are part of this family," Thomas said. "Our name won't be worth anything in this city if you don't help us. What of my wife and family?"
Married 8 years ago, he now had 3 children.
"We will lose the house, the company, the cottage in Newport, the racehorses, the yacht. Everything we own will disappear, Harrison. We'll be out on the street." "I fail to see how that is my problem."
He checked his pocket watch for the time, feigning boredom to annoy both of them.
"Considering my access to those luxuries was cut off years ago. Well, now,"
Thomas had the grace to appear sheepish,
"I am certain after you marry, we can come to some sort of an agreement, after the family debts are settled."
"I can change my will," their mother added, "to give you half of my stock upon my death." Harrison nearly laughed. He would acquire everything they owned in less than a month.
"What you are proposing is ludicrous. Even if I had an heiress in mind, it would take time to court her and plan the wedding."
He started to get up.
"We're done here."
"You could compromise her," his mother said. Harrison's stomach churned with disgust at those words, a horrific reminder of what he'd witnessed his father doing 3 years ago. He tried to stop Winthrop's abuse of the housemaid, but in the end, it hadn't mattered. The police had been paid off, and Harrison disinherited. Now his mother had the nerve to suggest he compromise a woman. Christ, he could not wait to destroy these people. Thomas slid a piece of paper forward on the desk, obviously misinterpreting Harrison's silence for acquiescence.
"Here are the names of every heiress of marriageable age who is not yet promised."
"Including that girl," his mother said. "The mannish one you followed around as a boy." Harrison reacted instantly, violently. The muscles in his body clenched, and his lungs constricted as his system locked in disbelief. Even the dust motes seemed to pause in midair. Was it true? She hadn't married? Maddie Webster had been his closest childhood friend, and the girl he'd planned to wed, until she broke his heart. He had tried to forget her in Paris, not even inquiring after her with their mutual friends. He assumed she'd married some boring swell and settled into an East Side townhouse by now. So what happened? Not a lack of suitors, surely. Maddie's smile could transform a room, drawing in everyone just to bask in her joy. All of New York adored her, the golden girl of high society, with more friends than Harrison could count. She'd been his opposite in nearly every way, yet the two of them had been inseparable as children, thick as 5 Points thieves, until the day he'd left for Paris.
"Though there are rumors," Thomas said absently, tapping his pen on the desk. "They say the Duke of Lockwood is soon to propose. Perhaps I should cross Miss Webster off. Leave her."
The words were out of Harrison's mouth before he could stop them, the order cracking throughout the cavernous space. That got everyone's attention. His mother's expression turned calculating. "Does this mean you'll do it?" His mind spun with possibility, and he resisted the old urge to fidget. Before he left, Maddie had thought of him as a brother.